Hey, good morning, everybody. It's September 29th, 2025, and the best part of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Morning, this is Bev.
Good morning, Bev.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good.
Oh, goody.
Hey, folks. Today we're going to talk about BioTouch addresses the body. Why does BioTouch only address the body? And we're going to sort of build on what Dr. Christie did in our little workshop. If you haven't seen that yet, go to pull down the menu on top, health conditions, and look up emotional and physical connection. And she had a great presentation. We just sort of wanted to build on that.
Yeah,
And we wanted to basically start with the premise, right? Because what do we say all the time? We address the body.
you address the body. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't mess with all the other stuff, but we thought, well, let's find out what's out there in the eternal website. So
Right.
we asked good old Chat GPT, tell us why BioTouch only addresses the body. Here we go. It said, BioTouch appears to only address the body because it is applied through light touch on the skin in specific points. But its purpose isn't limited to the physical. The body is the doorway. You like that one, yeah? The
Yeah.
body is the doorway. By gently touching the skin, BioTouch initiates a cascade of relaxation responses in the nervous system, which can ease tension and pain, balance stress, and promote a sense of connection. Many people report that when their bodies begin to relax, they also experience emotional relief, clearer thinking, and even spiritual openness. So while the technique is offered to the body, the effects often ripple through the whole person, body, mind, and spirit.
Yeah. So BioTouch is the doorway and the greeting is the key.
Ooh,
We say that
very
all the
good.
time.
I
We
know.
say that all the time, don't we?
Yes. Good old Chad. It understands BioTouch better than we do as
I'm
far as
telling you.
expression. Yes, I mean, we always say that the greeting is the key. Remember, folks, that greeting is the index and middle finger of a dominant hand. It's the only one where we do one hand, and you touch first two fingers just below the breastbone in that soft tissue, lightly like a butterfly. And the second point is taking that same dominant hand, those same two fingers, and touching just to the left of the big bone at the base of the neck, just to the left of that big bone, about an inch to an inch and a half. And that's the key to the system of addressing the body with any kind of problem that you're
Yep.
dealing with.
Yep.
So, what is this body that we're addressing? What does it hold?
Oh, the world. Everything. Well, and we have to remember too that because science and medical science is finding all the time, they're changing their minds about DNA and the cellular makeup of bodies and the trauma and all the experiences, all the choices, all the journeys are being held at the cellular level. And, I'm just going to say it one more time. This is why BioTouch is so effective. As Bruce Lipton said, true healing takes place at the cellular level, and that message changes the whole story with love. And boom, we know that is touch of love. BioTouch is the story that changes at the cellular level with love. That's the criteria. So these bodies hold all the different parts of ourselves. We think, we feel, we move, we have a physical appearance, on and on and on. And when it said it appears
Right. To
to
address.
address the body, well, we can see those fingers on the skin, right? But we also know that once that door is opened with the key, that the body now is ready to receive at the cellular level what we are offering, what that what that relationship is offering that body. So
Yeah.
all those things held within us are eventually affected.
Yeah. And let's go over a few of the examples we have. That first one we always like to talk about too is I remember reading something from Gandhi. I think it was him. Anyhow, it said, if you want to understand the oneness of humanity, look at bodies.
We all got one.
We all got one, functions the same,
Right.
and there's no argument at that level of
Yeah.
bodies. But the minute
Yeah.
you leave the body, you start getting to philosophies. How did the body get here? What's
Right.
it supposed to do while it's here? What's it going to do when it leaves? Da, 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 da. What
That
kind of
little
ritual do you
ego.
have to do over here to move up the seven ladders of the fourth dimension to the fifth aspect of all?
Quantum
I
leaps.
mean, it goes on and on and
Yeah,
on. But when
I
you
know.
take it back to the basics, we all have a body. And that's what we address with that greeting. When people come in, where does it hurt? What's bothering you? And
Yeah.
then, as Dr. Christie said, and you were just talking about, now the connections are all there that we don't need to know or figure out. We need to trust everyone will figure it out on their
Out.
own.
That's right. That's, a couple of things came to mind when you were talking. Because it's even in our manual, the equality that happens in that relationship of healing with biotouch between two people. It's those two fingers are just touching on the body, something that we all have. And there's no barriers at that point. There's no ego involved at that point. There's no, judging or criticizing or anything. It's an equality that happens in that relationship, a true relationship. And that is why healing happens.
Right.
There's nothing in the way.
So again, we're reminded of that neuroscientist that I met. It was a psychology seminar, and thousands of people were there, and we had a little booth set up doing biotouch. And this neuroscientist gets up there and he says, I just want to let you know that whenever you have a wow experience, there are changes that happen in the deepest seat of consciousness. And he actually went on to say, so get that touch that they're doing outside the door there to have that experience.
He got it, right? He
Yes.
got it.
And I always think about every time we work with people, they go, wow. I think he's called it the aha experience. But
Yes.
everyone has that wow experience. And I'm always reminded of that woman you worked on at that free
Oh,
open
that,
air health clinic thing where there were
and
doctors and eye care
yeah,
people and teeth. They were doing free dental care. And you worked on this woman. Tell us about that again.
yeah, this lovely woman came and she said, I want to try this BioTouch. Everybody's talking about this BioTouch. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So, of course, I gave her the greeting and she just kind of relaxed. And by the time I did the first 2 points, A and A, the first step of the headset, she passed out. I mean, literally passed out. And I'm glad I had all those courses, the certification program, because all the girls are sitting around, looking at me, and we're all kind of looking at each other like, what do we do? I just kept touching. I just kept doing the headset. She's passed out. Somebody went and got a nurse next door. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just touching. Then her daughter comes, what are you doing to my mother? I'm just touching. Well, I finished the headset and then I put my hand on her arm and I just kind of gently spoke her name and her eyes flew open because she was like, wow, passed out in the chair. Her eyes flew open. She sat up straight and she looked at me and she goes, oh my gosh, honey, I just went to heaven. I'm like, really? It was hell here watching you. She's like, oh my God, that is the most amazing thing I've ever had happen. And you know what? When we were talking with Dr. Stevenson, Kenneth Stevenson later, we were telling her about that. And she said something that I thought made a lot of sense. and this woman had a lot of challenges, physical challenges in her body. So Kenneth said, well, think about this. She's at this crisis point. When you give BioTouch, something that is not presumptuous, something that's so gentle and loving, it will cause you to go from one extreme of crisis to that just feeling so relaxed that she lost consciousness.
Hmm.
I said, oh my gosh, that makes sense because I had never experienced anything like that before. So
Yeah, wow.
that was pretty wild. Yeah.
So that's interesting too, with Dr. Stevenson, how she just did that research project measuring the frontal lobe with this cockamamie machine or something that you could turn
MRI,
it
this
and
little MRI
yeah,
machine.
like
Yeah.
an MRI, and
Yeah.
watch what was being lit up, and it was like amazing. And that's what Dr. Christie talked about, the whole brain connection, frontal
Yes,
lobe, rear lobe, and
exactly.
the different things.
Exactly.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the new research shows
Oh, I
with
know.
pre-post BioTouch, and I guess Dr. Stevenson in November will have a presentation on that one.
Right.
So it's interesting too. I recall working with a woman who we were working at a drug rehab community, and that was women who were getting ready to be reunited with their children. They'd been incarcerated for years. They're going to be put with their children again. So we did BioTouch for the moms, for the children, helped the mothers work with the children. So we're working with this one woman who had this just a real painful shoulder. We kept working with her week after week, and finally one week she just starts bawling, just bawling. And
No.
what happened was she had the memory of being kicked to the ground, kicked in her shoulder, and then was raped. And
Wow.
that
Holding
memory,
all of that.
yeah, memory flooded back into her. She had no
Yeah.
recall of that until we did BioTouch. And
Wow.
after that BioTouch session, she was able to go back to her group. They had groups 2 or 3 times a day, and share that experience, and never had that shoulder pain again.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it did, the chat said that, yeah, that's what will happen. Sometimes BioTouch will release those memories and it comes through as releasing is always an emotional type of thing. So this is why we specifically say we don't address the emotions, the what you're thinking, how you're feeling. We don't need to. BioTouch doesn't need that. That ego gets out of the way and you just touch. Just touch and know that as you said, the integrity of that person, the power within that person is going to figure it out. Because the minute that we say we're healers, what have we done? We've already negated the power and integrity of that other person to be that
Right.
healer in their own lives.
And it's interesting because that reminds me of E. Haleakala, who was teaching Ho'oponopono. And when he was teaching, and I happened to drop in on a class of that, his whole thing was the problem's not out there. So we, as so-called practitioners or healers, quote unquote, as you just said, it's not their problem. That we have all these blips on our screen. And the goal of meeting all these people that we're working with is to erase those blips from our screen so that then the just appropriate set of points we'll use with BioTouch will come to us in order to do that. And then there's this symbiotic relationship between the recipient and the associate. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, we're doing this little dance, and we have to trust as we practice BioTouch, as you were just saying, because our goal is self-awareness. We
Yeah.
encourage people to grow in self-awareness. And
Right.
then, in order to encourage that, you have to trust it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
have to trust people are going
I
to
know.
find out what they need. They might
What they
need a
need.
psychotherapist. They might need a naturopath. They might need an operation. They might need to reset the shoulder or whatever. it's not our job here is
That's their journey, not
yes,
ours, right? And that's why we also say ever, never, never, never do we diagnose. We don't suggest. We don't, recommend anything. We just, and how many, we all know, that session's going on, things come up for the recipient. Emotions, or what do you think? Should I do this? And what do we always say? Just keep touching.
yeah,
Just be present. Just be present with that person. Yeah.
yes. And so, there was another one. Tell us about the young man who came in with the broken heart. Yeah.
Oh man, that was so sweet. This was years and years ago when I was still working on Saturdays. That's a long time. Anyway, yeah, this never seen him before. He's a new recipient. He came in, and of course, we always sit down the first time, give an orientation, and then talk about why, what's going on with him. What are his issues? What would he like us to work with? And he named a few things. And then he says, can BioTouch help heal my broken heart? And of course, I just kind of like stopped and it was like, I've never had that question asked, but by the way, we don't have a set for a broken heart, right? So, but what did I say? Well, of course, because I knew that whatever I was going to do with him, what sets of points I was going to give him, his body knew that he had a broken heart. And I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to think about that. I just needed to touch and let his body figure out how to help him with his broken heart. That was
Right.
a very empowering experience for me. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a fellow now coming in. He comes in twice a week and he drives almost 40 minutes twice a week
Wow.
to come get worked on because he's outrageously depressed. I mean, he'll come in
Oh,
and start crying, goes to a psychiatrist who just gives him medication.
yeah.
But the reason he keeps coming, and he has really bad back pain, is he feels so relaxed afterwards. And he
Yes.
knows that it's helping him.
Yes.
And so much my ego wants to analyze it and, well,
Of
when did it
course.
happen and how did it happen?
I want to
And
heal you.
and slowly but surely he's unfolding a little bit of his story.
Oh,
And he's becoming more open and vulnerable. And now we give each other a big hug at the end. This big guy,
yeah.
and runs the rest, and all kinds of stuff. And just more and more vulnerable. And the frustration for me is wishing I could just open up the psychological,
Of
issues
course.
going on. But I just keep touching, and slowly but surely, because he's committed to coming twice a
Yeah.
week.
Right.
And it's just amazing to
That's
see the
amazing.
story unfold.
Oh,
And as we're working with him in his medications, of course, we're always working so that he doesn't have side effects. So we work the poison set and his
yes.
liver. So,
Yes.
but we're just addressing the body. And that's what we just want to let you know. As ChatGPT said, BioTouch appears to only address the body, but its purpose isn't limited to the physical. The body is the doorway. And
Yeah.
as Bev reminded us, and the greeting is the key. So
Yes.
please, you know, if you're in a
Please.
family situation and you have family members who are having issues too, and you just feel helpless,
Yeah. Oh,
especially if we're in families and we have family members going through emotional crises, physical crises,
yeah.
this gives us something we can do, and
Be
feel a
with
part.
them.
Yes, be with them and help them through this process, whatever they're going through, and help them find what they need to best help themselves.
Right.
So BioTouch helps us be in the present. BioTouch is here for you. JustTouch.com. It's easy to learn. It's simple to use. And I'll tell you, has profound results.
It does.
It does.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you all for joining us. We're here every Monday. Bev and I, except for one week, it'll be Bev and Eileen. So we're
Yeah.
looking forward to that one because Paul's
Yeah.
going out of town for a while.
Right.
So, hey,
Bon
thanks everybody
voyage.
for joining us.
Bye.
can feel the pain in sunshine or rain. So it's not caused by the weather, but it doesn't hurt that much after I feel your loving touch and we spend some time together. You take my pain away each and every day. You're an angel from heaven on high. Your butterfly touch helps me heal so much, and I get better as time goes by. You take my pain away.